Hi, welcome to this reading, which is for the Scorpio Sun and Rising signs, Moon signs. Okay, I'm using the Druid Animal Oracle card, and the layout of the cards that I'm using is called the Home or Hearth spread. Even though it's a home spread, and you may think, well, there's nothing I need to know about my home or living situation. Sometimes, well, firstly, I just go with what I'm guided, the kind of spread I'm guided to use. And also, one area of your life can have an impact on various other areas of your life as well. I'm just going to do all the cards, turn them over first. Okay, so we've got, here we are. By the way, my name is Mary. I'm an animal pet intuitive, and I can communicate with your pet and ask them any questions you may have about them and pass on any messages that they would like to share with you. Pets are not only our companions and beings in their own right, they also are our mirrors and teachers as well. It might seem a bit funny, but sometimes I think of them as, sometimes you can give yourself a reading, like a tarot reading. Other times you don't need to. You just take a look at your pet and what is it that you love about your pet? What traits do they have? What habits do they have or are starting to do? What might annoy you that they're starting to do? Because those are all things that pets can reflect back to you, and they can be like messages, which is quite interesting. Okay, Scorpio, on to your reading. The first two cards that I'm going to read, they represent the way you perceive or think about yourself or an issue to do with your living situation, your home, which, in one way or another can have links or have an impact on other areas of your life, like career and love and friendships and so on. So we've got the Fire Dragon in reverse, and we've got the Bear in reverse. Now, these two cards came up for another sign as well. Okay. I want to look at this one. Actually, I want to look at them together because they do go together. Let me just turn these around. This first week of October is a powerful month. A powerful start to this month of October. The new year starts now, perhaps for you Scorpions. It's time to draw things to a close, I feel. I'm really feeling the theme is an end of an era. And this is, and I also want to mention that, there's this message too that this reading is to see it as suggestions, intuitive guidance, and also suggestions. It's not in stone, right? It's suggestions that you can have a think about because it's not in stone. So perhaps there might be some issues with control or trying to control things or feel like you're being controlled and having some resistance to authority or anything like that. So then the reason that message is coming on about just taking this reading as suggestions means maybe perhaps to help you to not have resistance to it, to the message or messages. So it's an end of an era regarding your living situation. It may feel like you've been burned. You may feel like you've been burned. And it can be like, Scorpio can sting others. In some way you sting yourself as well when you sting others. It's kind of like, it's a realization of it, as you do an action, you get a reaction. You do a sting, whether it's intentional or not, and it comes back to you. Anyway, the message of this regarding your home or living situation is that take the suggestion that it's the end of an era. So, again, these two cards represent how you perceive it. So this is maybe this week, this is what's coming up for you to think about, or the suggestion that you're perhaps viewing it, or to view it this way, that regarding your home situation, your living situation, downplay it, or that you do seem to downplay your situation, and also that it's an end of an era, and perhaps you're viewing that as well, that it's an end of an era. But downplay, that word keeps coming up. So perhaps, I feel it goes in two different ways. For some of you, you're being required to downplay it, or it's been suggested that you downplay it, whatever your home or living situation is. And for others, I think for the majority of you, is that perhaps you are downplaying a situation regarding your home or living circumstances, right? And that bit is like coming to an end. It can be kind of like, if I was to just give an example, so again, this is just an example. If you were struggling to find a home or something, and maybe you were moving from couch to couch or something, and you part of you just downplays it, like things, you just downplay it. It's kind of suggesting that that's what you do. You perceive it that way, that you downplay it. And also, there's this message that it's coming to, it's an end of an era. So in this circumstance, it's about realizing that you may be downplaying a situation, and that is coming to an end for whatever reason and however it shows up, but it's time for it to come to an end. And sometimes in this circumstance, for these Scorpions, downplaying it is coming to an end. And it feels then you can move up, or take the next step up, the next level, or you're required to, or it's been suggested to you. So I hope that makes sense. And I'm hearing friends. So perhaps even friends downplay your situation, your living situation, and it's not helpful. Seems to be the suggestion. And that's been downplayed as well. Sometimes when we need change, other things change. So sometimes when our living, this is how it can be all connected. Like when we change our living situation, make amends, make moves to take a step up to the next level, it can change our friendships and our relationships, and sometimes that's just how it's got to be. There's a sense of, downplaying and that coming to an end. And I don't know how that's going to come to an end, hopefully in a good way. But either way, it's coming to an end, and the result or the outcome is, or the goal or the suggestion is to now move forward, take a step up, and take action to allow that to happen, and little steps, or whatever steps you need to do to get that to happen. These two cards here, and this is the way you, or an issue is, like your living situation, is perceived by others. I think we've kind of addressed it with these two cards, but let's see if we can get some more information for you. We've got the owl, the ever-present owl, and we've got the crane. They may see you as, firstly, emotional, or that you do things based on your emotions at the time, kind of like spontaneously, but in an emotional way. So like if you're angry, you may make a decision to leave a home and move out or something. And when you meet someone for a day, and then you fall in love with them, and then you might decide to just move all your belongings to live with this person, and so on. So so it's not saying good or bad or anything. It's just saying that it's kind of like sometimes you can be run by that, run in that way. That may also have been downplayed, and that is coming up now to be looked at, and perhaps that kind of doing things coming to an end as well. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, so one of the messages of the crane, right, that it's like it's lifted up its foot because it's no longer going to downplay the living situation. But this is what you are perceiving or what is happening for you energetically, but not really how others. Well, I guess some of your friends may think that you downplay things, but because they're your friends, I guess they're not going to say too much about it. Mainly this one is that they see that you can be quite spontaneous in your emotions. I don't think there's anything else. These two cards, which is the way you want yourself or your living situation or your home situation to be. And again, this can be connected or has connections with other areas of your life. So far, we've noticed that it has connection with friends and the downplaying of a situation. And now I'm hearing career. And so now your living and home situation has, the connection with your career or your money, your finances, your materialism, that sort of stuff, right? So this is the way you want yourself or an issue to be. I think you're ready for the end of it. You're ready to end. We go through times in our life, phases in our life, and it's like you're ready for that to end. You're ready to make changes. You're ready to accept it's an end of an era. It's an end of the times of downplaying things, and it's beyond the thinking of it, right? For some of you, if it feels like you've been forced to make these changes, forced to see that, it's time to end this living situation kind of phase that I've been going through, domestic stuff I've been going through, don't downplay that. And whereas before you may have just been downplaying your situation, so there's this also message of knowing or just being aware of what you downplay and what you shouldn't be downplaying, right? So, if you're feeling like you've been forced to make these changes, don't downplay that, because that's what's going to help you to move on. Now, the good thing too is here, we've got the rabbit here, right? Or the hare. And I keep hearing abundance. And I really feel this week is quite important for these changes to start happening or beginning to happening or that sort of stuff, right? But there's abundance here for you. When you stop downplaying things that you've been downplaying, abundance coming through for you. And with the little steps and the small steps, the small steps that you take. The hare can do leaps and bounds, but there's a suggestion to just small steps first, and then you'll be doing leaps and bounds. You'll be, part of that abundance too is new people coming into your life as well. This week feels like, some things are going to start happening or changing for you. End of an era, I keep hearing, in regards to downplaying a home living situation, and it has links with career for you and friends for you. Changes in that. And I feel it will be changes with your friendships. It doesn't mean that you will be ending friendships. It could mean that the way your friendships are, the dynamics of it could be changing. And for some of you, it could be spending less time with friends, right? And meeting new people. Right, so the last two cards for you is the way you or living situation could be. We've got the hind or hind, and we've got the wren. So let me turn that card around. These are the possibilities or the potentials, more so the potentials. there's a difference between possibilities and potentials. So, yeah, I feel these are the potentials. So that it's, that's the message coming through. And potential is just that reminder that you need to be a part of it, right? So the potentials are there, the abundance, being able to leap and bound eventually after those small steps. And the potential is that you have to be a part of it. You've got to be that, what do they say, the co-creator, right? And that's how they'd like you to see potential. So I was going to say the possibilities, but I'm hearing let's say it to you as potential, so that or the reminder or the suggestion to you that potentials are there. Therefore, but the thing with potentials is that it requires you to take action, to be a part of it, to co-create it. Because I've been really drawn to this wren, and here it is holding this feather. I feel the feather is the possibilities, right? So here's this wren, or you, not seeing the possibilities way over there and wondering or thinking how you're going to get it, but there you are actually grasping it, the potential. It took the action to do it. So or the behavior, right? That's the message. So I guess then, because these two cards represent the way you or your home situation, domestic, so on situation could be, and this has links to career for you. So perhaps you want to change career, right? Because, I just feel this part has to do with career for you, your home situation and your career. So take what resonates. Yeah, so the possibilities are out there, and I guess you know that and realize that, but perhaps you've had trouble realizing potential, right? And that the potential is not outside of you, it's inside of you. The possibilities are outside of you. Here you are. You're working on your potential because you've done some kind of action to be able to pluck, grasp the possibility. Okay, so, and that's what you would like to happen. And the suggestion then of this card is just what I've just said. The message coming through is to see that possibilities are outside of you and the potential is within you, and that requires co-creating. So all you need to, so basically the message is to the action, right? It's the behavior. That's the message. So thank you, Scorpio. I hope this reading is helpful for you in this first week of October, and I'll see you next time.